we have to be acutely aware that the choice that you are presented with now as to who you refer your clients and your contacts to for legal services is massive. It's far, far greater than it's ever been before. You can refer to legal service providers locally, nationally. You can provide your clients references to people who are providing these services offshore, if you like. You can make references to people who are going to be dealing with matters on a face-to-face basis or over the internet, using various automated services. So we're aware that we've got to make sure that we cut through that choice so that we have that relationship with you, our referrers, and also with all of our clients. In a crowd of faces, we will seek out the familiar. Isn't that the case? How many of you, when you walked in here tonight, were looking around for someone you knew? Yeah? So you could just go over and say hello and just feel more comfortable in the environment. Maybe even before you got here, you looked down the guest list to see who was attending, so you would feel reassured in that sense. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a natural reaction. We tend to gravitate to those people who we know, like, and trust. And that's about the relationship, isn't it? When we know someone, when we like them and when we can trust them, at that stage we've got a real working relationship. It's at that stage, and only at that stage, when we've got all three of those elements, that we're going to feel confident in referring our clients onto those other professionals. So we recognise that Mogers and Mogers Commercial, that's what we have to do. We have to have that relationship. You have to be reassured that you know, like, and trust us. Know, like, and trust, it works. It works through and through. It's a bit of a mantra in some networking circles, but deservedly so, I think. Let me indulge myself for a moment. Forrest Gump. Blasted Forrest Gump. I think Forrest Gump is one of the worst films I've ever seen. I think it's overlong. I think it's overly sentimental. Worst of all, I think it's emotionally manipulative. I think the only reason to the top three of the best films of all time, is because people know Tom Hanks. And then during the course of the film, they learn to know, like, and trust Forrest Gump. Bless him, Forrest Gump. Anyway, that's just my little indulgence. I think it's an awful film. I've tried raising this point before in certain circles, and I got shouted down. So if you want to take issue with me on the Forrest Gump point, speak to me afterwards. But building partnerships, building relationships, is more than just working together. It isn't just about us working together with your clients or with yourselves. It's more than that. It's about really understanding. The partnership itself is the work, if you like. It's the thing that we do. But it's the relationship which informs that and which really carries it forward. Now, I'm actually a consultant family solicitor, which is why I'm quite comfortable using words like intimacy. I thought that I'd bring into this commercial setting just to stir things up a bit. So there we have it. What do I mean by intimacy? I'm not talking about going around hugging and that stuff. What I'm talking about is that depth of relationship, where we feel confident in our relationship with someone, so that we can talk to them about these things: needs, hopes, strengths, and fears. Think it through. If I know what your needs are, if the relationship between us is such that you've been able to say to me, this is what I really need. I really need to meet someone who is working in this area, or I really need a contact with him. If I know what your hopes are, if I know what your hopes are for your organisation, whether you're the owner of that organisation or whether you're working within it, if I know what your hopes are for your personal ambition, then it's only at that stage when I can really start thinking, that's funny, I met Eric the other day and I know that Dan is looking to meet someone who does whatever it may be. I can bring them together. That's where we start to get real value coming out of those relationships. It's about your people. It's about our people. I'll talk in a moment about the days when the senior manager within a firm would just shout down and dictate who we're going to do work with. And those days are gone now. What we need to do is we need to establish those relationships between our people at all levels of the organisation and your people as well. And I know that already we're doing some of that work with sports events and such like. I haven't yet partaken in the netball challenge, but I promise next year I will. So it's about your people, it's about our people, the people who work in your organisation. And it's also about contact. It's about opening up. Who do I know who might help you to achieve what it is that you're aiming to achieve? So we can open up in that sense. And that will come again as we build those relationships and as we develop that knowledge, that like, and that trust amongst us.